All right, hello everyone. This is Josh, also known as Yashu. You're just tuning into another episode of TLOY Talks. You can get this on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Buzzsprout, much more. Also on Patreon, like different tiers for different perks and all that. If you want to get the highest like tier and all that, that's like for the most perks and all that. And yeah, definitely support like either way too. Like dropping like episodes like consistently from then on out, like interviews, all the other content too. So definitely check it out either way, And I'm just gonna get it like started right here. So we actually have one of the rising artists in the Toronto music scene as well. So he came from like Don Mills and all that in the like has dropped like a dope project called like Mills Madness that has been doing like some good streams. Also released like a lot of music videos like Unforgettable Diamond, the remix, and then also with his track Gorillas with Nikkoveli, we have Datkidgino in the building.
What you guys saying, yo? How you doing, man?
Doing all right, man. And like we definitely tapped in through IG at first and all that. Like I was like
Yeah,
checking
for
out the music
sure.
too, and like sometimes too, like I try to check out like certain styles, certain sounds, and all that. And
hmm
I think with what you do perfectly is that you blend in like a lot of like sample stuff and all that. With when I was like, listening to the Diamond remix like music video, like you had like the Rihanna sample and all that. Like that was like pretty fire. With Unforgettable with the remix to French Montana song and all that. Like that was also like pretty dope too. And like even just trying different elements, like whether it's the Detroit rap, the drill, and all that, it's like interesting and all, as well.
Yeah, like with the samples, right? It's like a lot of those songs are hits too, and it's like a lot of days, like music should be appreciated, credit should be where it's due, right? So it's like I want to add like a little of my own sauce to those songs, so that's kind of where I was headed with the sample. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, that's facts, man. And it's amazing to see and all that. And like I know with just like with a lot of the stuff so far, like you've got like a lot of traction within the music and like everything else too. And like we'll probably like dive deep on that like later on too. But like to get more on your backstory too. So growing up in Don Mills, so what was it like for you like at the time growing up? Would you say it was like kind of like blessed or was it different?
yo, it was kind of fun to be real. Like everyone was there, our childhood, like everyone's just goofing around, like we really got to live life, I'd say. Growing up wasn't really too harsh either. Like I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Like there was a lot of good memories, and I'd say that's what shaped me into who I am today. So
Yeah, that's facts, man. Because I know with Don Mills, it's like, not a lot of people like come up like within like that scene there. Like I know that there's some people like here and there and all that, but
yeah,
I think one of the artists was like I think Cardinal Official, who is like from Flemo and all that, like around like the Don Mills area. So, but like
yeah.
it didn't like start peaking in until like you came up and like I think some other artists too. But even there, like was it like big for music at the time growing up, or was it just kind of like different or small and all that?
To be honest, like when I was younger, right, everyone was more into basketball.
All
Like
right.
my generation was into basketball, right? So obviously we had like older heads that rapped and
All right.
stuff, but they weren't really like doing the most. So it's like I just want to like step up for the community, give us a name, right? And do things for people that like don't have the ability to do it for themselves,
All
right?
right.
Because I didn't have those opportunities. So I'd love to give like a helping hand to my own community.
Yeah, that's facts, man. And I know if like Don Mills, it kind of has like changed over time too. Like I actually used to have like family that grew up like in Don Mills. Like my godfather, I think he kind of moved away like later on and all that too. But like I
hmm
remembered like there's like the Ontario Science Center and all that. There's like a lot of schools like what like Mark Garneau and like Don Mills Collegiate, and then I think now they kind of added like a lot of like new malls like by like the Donway and all that, and then you have like Fairview and all that. So that's like
Yeah.
a very different like vibe and all that as opposed to what it was like back then and all that. So
Yeah, yo, like they added a lot of malls too. Like they made shops outdoor ever since back in the day. Like you have Fairview, and there's a lot to do on Don Mills too. Like you could come to Don Mills, go to the mall, you could get good food, get good clothes, and go home happy.
yeah,
So
and it's just like kind of like a bus ride like away and all that, which is like kind of blessed and all that.
yeah, yo, and everything's on that one road too.
Yeah,
So
oh, that's facts, man. And what were you like from the start of birth until now?
yo, elementary, I was probably a really bad kid. Like I was just super energetic, wasn't really focused on the right things. So elementary wasn't the best. Got to middle school. I'd say that's where I met like my inner circle, right? Like my close friends, right? And then high school, I'd say around I'd say it was just around about last summer I started dropping music too, because for the longest time I wanted to do it right, but I always wanted to do it the right way. So I made sure like I saved up money, then I invested it, and then for the future I want to make sure too that I can invest way more. So
Yeah, that's facts, man. Because having the money and having like different like ambitions like in showcasing the music in the best way possible, like it always like helps you the way, whether it's through music production, whether it's through PR and all that, whether it's for like everything else. Because I don't know if you've seen like that post on IG where like they'll break down like the prices on
hmm
equipment, posting like on like distro or like United Masters, and like also like for PR and all that type of stuff too. There's like a lot, and like usually sometimes too like it'll cut down to like an artist like budget and all that too. So like usually getting like that support, like it could be like $0 or it could be like more depending on the situation also. But
no,
yeah.
that's facts. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta go to the right person, spend your money smart, right? And if you just do it with a good will, then you should get good out of it, right?
Yeah, that's facts, man. And like even like getting into music growing up, like who were you like kind of like introduced to like music wise and all that?
Like artists who I listen to personally,
Yeah, like artists like you kind of like listen to like growing up, sounds like that type of stuff.
uh, I'd say I was onto a lot of little TJs as a little kid. I was listening to a lot of drill, I can't lie. And just like a lot of the American scene. Uh, NLE Choppa, I listen to a lot. Like he's got a lot of energy. Like he's his own person. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, just like a bunch of artists from around that time. So
Okay, and like how do you even like get into like rapping, like making music and all that? Like was it just like for friends and all that, or through?
nah, yo, actually, how I started music was pretty funny. So a long time ago when I was in middle school, right? I was what year was it? It was like the seventh grade to be exact, right? Like I was not the best. Like I was causing some trouble, right? And then what happened was it was called like an in-school expulsion.
All
Like
right.
is weird. So basically, I had to sit in the office for the rest of the year and do my schoolwork, right? So I'm stuck in the corner of the office with a computer, right? And then I'm just sitting here writing beats, or sorry, writing lyrics to these beats. You know what I'm saying? And then just kept happening, and then I recorded a song on my phone, right? And then I'm like, okay, like I kind of like this, and it was like helping me with a lot of my emotions too, like it was kind of therapy at the same time. Like I'm sitting here writing my emotions and feelings into this, right? And I'm discovering like a whole new way you can express yourself, right? And I'm just finding out it's an art. So
That's
it was
facts, man.
crazy.
No, amazing to hear and all that. And like I don't know if you've had like any family that kind of like did like music and all that, or
Nah, none. Like I'm the first person in my family. That's why I find it crazy too. Like, cause after I started making it, right? Like I was kind of asking some of my family members, and they're like, no, like they're all athletes.
okay, like more like soccer, basketball, like that type of stuff.
Not serious, but like I guess I would say like they're just mostly like regular people. Like
Okay,
so that's why I also want to like that's why it drives me to do something too. Like I want to
yeah,
be different, right? Like I want to change things, you know?
yeah. You want to be like that diamond, like in the rough and all that too. You don't want to be
Yeah,
like kind of like that
literally.
cobblestone that has like no motion, like nothing like that too. It's just
Yeah,
you want to be something that gleams like into like the spotlight and all that. Yeah, no, I get it.
yeah.
Yeah, and as far as like the inspiration goes and all that, like what inspired you to like even like do this and like take it like seriously and all that?
Soon as I started seeing that it helps me mentally with my life, right? I can like I don't know, like I used to like drawing a little bit as a kid, but I didn't really like it because I wasn't the greatest at it. So music was kind of like that alternative to that, right? And it's like I'm a pretty energetic person too, so it's like I could put a lot of that energy into the songs, and like you could still feel it, right? Because music gives off a vibe at the end of the day, right? So
Yeah. And like even like within like the influences and all that, would you say like the drill stuff and like all the other people like you listen to kind of growing up like were like the influences like with your sound and all that, or
I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like every artist, like, I feel like gets a tiny bit influenced by like who they listen to, right? So, like, I probably did get the drill from what I was listening to, right? But that's why I want to like push over towards my own sound, right? So
okay,
I could do something unique that no one else is doing.
yeah, nah, not likewise, man. And as far as like who you want to work with and all that, do you have any artists that in mind that you want to like tap in with?
I would love to work with. Actually, no, I'm gonna keep it a surprise for whenever it happens, you know?
Okay. Oh, that's facts. And what would a day like in the studio or like even like just like making music be like? Have you like tapped in with like a lot of like studios in Toronto?
Yeah, so what I first started on a long time ago, right? Like when I was on the computer was BandLab, right?
All
And
right.
that's obviously not the best if you don't have the equipment. So yeah, I started investing my money into the studios, and then I was trying to find one I was comfortable with. And then now I just go to the same one consistently, right? Because the engineer has like a knack for my sound, you know what I'm
Uh,
saying? Like he knows what I like. Like I don't even really have to tell him much. So
okay.
I just keep tapping in with the same studio. I like to freestyle because for me, it brings out like what I'm feeling that day, like what in the studio. Like, yeah, I have a lot of tracks written that could be better, right? But I just feel like there's a proper time, right? So I just want to like freestyle my songs for now and put my true emotion in it.
Just like punching in and all that, pretty much.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I've been doing for my drill songs. So I have a bunch of written ones though I'm about to drop soon.
Yeah, no, that's facts, man. Because I know with punching in, it's like I think that's what most rappers are doing like nowadays too, like with Babytron, and then also with
Yeah.
like some of like the drill stuff too. Like I know like people would do like one take freestyles and all that, and like it would just kind of like go in nowadays too. Like it just kind of becomes like the song. I mean, I think even the Blackboy Max songs that he had with like DDG, and then this artist named I think Laser Dim 700. Like I think
Yeah,
those were
I
like
seen that Laser Dim
yeah.
song. That one was a good one. Still, Playboy Max is doing his thing right now.
Yeah, that's facts, man. And as far as like the creative process and inspiration for your stuff, so like to say like Mills Madness and all that, so what inspired you to even like work on that and have like that creative process like in mind?
Mills Madness, right? Like that was an album I just really wanted to like put on where I'm from, right? Like in a lot of my songs, I wasn't really like talking about where I'm from, right? I was talking more like stories that happened to me or even manifesting in most of the songs, right? But Mills Madness, I just wanted to make like a proper song about like where I'm from, right? So if you listen to the album from the first song to the fifth song, right? Like it kind of makes sense about like the neighborhood and everything, right? Because I'm from Don Mills and Lawrence, so yeah, it kind of like speaks a little bit about it.
Yeah. Not because I noticed like the melodies and like also with the different like beat patterns and all that too. So it kind of has like an interesting like flow and all that too, just to hear from like one track to the other. And it's like you kind of get like different surprises like when you're listening to different tracks and all that. So yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think to kind of add on to like the engineers like situation too, like what do you like kind of like look for like in a good engineer nowadays, or like even in a producer and all that?
Someone adaptable, right? Like really open-minded. So there's here, there's a few engineers I've worked with in the past, right? And one of them I went to, he would record my song, right? And sometimes like what I would do, right? Because I was younger, right? And I could only afford like certain hours, right? So I would be like, yo, like, can you use the last 30 minutes, right? To like fix up the rest of the track, mix it, right? But what this one engineer was doing was he just kept the whole song raw, right? And he just like wouldn't mix it at all. And he just kept wanting to record. And it was like, I don't know, it's just like some of them need to be a little bit more open minded, right? Because it's like the artist may not like what you think is better. You know what I'm saying? But that's what the artist is gonna have to learn if he is wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. That's why I stick with the one I work with right now, because like he's just really open minded and knows what he's doing.
And just like finding like good ways to be creative like with sound too, and like like keeping in with like the stems, everything else too. So yeah,
Yeah, like I'll always ask an engineer what they think or throw in something. You know what I'm saying? Like they're smart too. They're people too. So
definitely like agree in that sense too. So, and I mean even with like the other tracks too, with Unforgettable and like Diamond, I think those two kind of caught me on. Like I think we talked about it, like earlier and all that, and then you also had like Bando and then freestyle. So I know like a lot of these were like kind of like freestyles and all that too. But like, have you
yeah.
ever had different like inspirations and creative processes for like these tracks and all that?
Well, no, no, no. Two songs actually were written. So Unforgettable was written. I had that in the vault for a while. Um, and then Bando I also ripped. Those two are really old tracks. Like they're probably like my oldest tracks. I want to get them out there because when I recorded them, right, it really like I put a lot of emotion into it, right? And I was actually feeling like what I was rapping that day. So I really just wanted to get a video done for Unforgettable, and it took a while. Got it done in summer, and then Bando I'm dropping in like 2 weeks. So I was just I was happy I got those done with.
Oh, that's plus man. And it's like very important to have like a catalog too. Like I think I could like definitely say it like a lot because like you kind of have like different sounds for different people to like tap in with. Like
Yeah.
one song might not be like someone's like favorite, but like another song might be something that they'll probably like listen to like in rotation and all that too. And I could even like say this for like a lot of like rappers like nowadays or like even with other artists too, because sometimes you'll have a song that might be popular with like one person, but like that fan might not like it as much too. But then there's like that gem that could be like within the like next couple tracks, and you secretly like might like it and all that. So yeah. Either
No,
way.
I hear that, man. That's why I'm trying to like go to the studio and just make a bunch of different music because I want my music to get around the whole world, right? Like Toronto could like what I'm making, right? But if I go to a foreign country, do you think they'll like it? Like that's how I'm kind of like feeling. So I want to go and make a bunch of different stuff, right? So I really hear what you're saying on that. Yeah.
That's facts. And you worked with Nikkoveli like on his track Gorillas and all that too. So how did that like link up come about like in that sense?
Yeah, yo, like Nikkoveli, like I met when I just started making music, right, in grade 7. So Gorillas was just a long time in the making, right? Got it done. We performed like 4 or 5 times that song, still wasn't dropped, right? Then it's just a random Saturday night, filmed the video, and then it was just that's what happened, But yeah.
And how was that experience? Like even like meeting him and like just like tapping in with like a dope Toronto artist like that.
Nah, like that guy's been my bro for a minute, so it's like we had a lot of ideas, and then Gorillas was the one we just wanted to go, right? But yeah, he's doing a lot of good things, so yeah, shout out him for sure.
Sure, man. And as far as like like started like within like music and all that, have you done like any shows in Toronto or like in other parts like in the city?
Yeah, I've been trying to tap into quite a few shows around Toronto, but I want to wait till I get bigger venues for sure. Like, I need to work on a lot of other stuff, so I took a break from doing shows, but don't worry, we're going to be doing a lot more. But yeah, right now I'm just trying to focus on making music and filming, so.
Okay. As far as your role like in the Toronto like underground scene, like how would you define your role like within that part?
See, I don't want to be in the underground scene, like, I want to push past that, like, mark, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, but yeah, man, you gotta start somewhere, so I'm gonna just do my thing and see where it goes, right?
Yeah, that's facts, man. And as far as like the Toronto like Canadian like music scene going on, like knowing that there's like a lot of like artists like, in the scene and all that. So how do you feel about it like right now in terms of like the current state and all that? And do you feel that there should be some changes on the direction of the scene, or do you feel like it's okay like on where it's at right now?
Yo, honestly, the police need to let people perform. That's what I think, because there's a lot of talented artists out here that can't showcase their talent. Like, they're just shutting down shows for the safety and all that. Yeah, I get it, but it's like, why do they get security? You know what I'm saying? Like, all these people even wasting their money and stuff, you right? Music wise, there's a lot of beef, yeah, but at the same time, it's like it's hard to get rid of that, right? So it's like I would just push for everyone to do what they love. You know what I'm saying? Like, I make music to make people's day, truthfully, but I want people to listen to my music, and I want them to feel it, whatever type of vibe it gives off, you know what I'm saying? But in the Toronto music scene, I just think there needs to be like more love, because our city could for sure be at the top if everyone came together, but that's never happened. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's my take still.
Ever feel like there's a crab in the bucket like mentality?
Yo, to be honest, like, I don't really know how I feel about that one, but I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Okay. And you have like no regrets or nothing like that, right?
No regrets. I just want to become big with my music, make it worldwide, have people listen to it, and that's the goal, right? Feed my family, feed my community,
Okay. And we usually have like a playlist like called like TLOYs, like rising acts, where we showcase like different artists from like different sounds and all that too. We update it like every month and all that too. So name 3 songs like in your catalog that you would want to put on the playlist for people that might not know about you, or like they would like to know more about you, like streaming wise and all that.
For one, I would say Halloween in the Mills is it's a song that could have the car bumping for sure. Song number 2, I would say Diamonds. It's like not too hype, but it's like melodic enough to a point where it's nice. And for 3, that's a good one. I would just say Freestyle. All 3 of those songs are like, they're not too much or too little. They're just like right in the middle. I would say those 3 for sure.
Okay, that's facts. And like they're all like on Spotify, Apple Music.
Yeah, all platforms for sure.
All right, that's facts. And what do you have going on this year in terms of like any music, creative projects, and so forth? And do you have any like closing remarks?
February 21st, Bando video drop in. This summer, I'm going to invest a shit ton of money into tracks. So lots of videos coming. And just stay tuned for more Datkidgino content.
And it's like Datkidgino, like on all platforms on Instagram.
Yeah.
Right? All right.
No spaces, lower space,
Okay, that's facts. And Datkidgino, like thank you for like tapping in, man. It was
Respect, shout out TLOY, y'all. Thank you for having me on. Datkidgino on all platforms.
That's
Respect,
facts.
brother.
That's facts. Yo, this is Josh, also known as Yashu, with Datkidgino. You can get this on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, much more. Definitely check out Datkidgino's like music, like on all platforms. Check out like the Bando video that's gonna be coming soon. Like definitely like tap in like when it drops and all that. And yeah, we're just gonna sign off for now.